Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, friends, we talk about secret rare and alternate rare cards in the most recent Pokemon trading card sets. More importantly, we discuss, are alternate art cards becoming the new secret rare cards within sets? So today's topic is one of those topics that I've really wanted to talk about for quite some time. The reason for that is because ever since Battle Styles was announced as a set, I basically came to the conclusion that Pokemon was changing the way they were driving trading card sets towards collectors. Now, this is something that is kind of important to tiptoe around, only because I don't want to make it seem as though Pokemon is driving everything towards investors, flippers, or scalpers. I definitely don't think that's the case, and what I think is actually happening is Pokemon is taking a long look at the artwork within cards, and I think most of us will generally agree that the artwork, especially in the Sword and Shield era, has definitely gotten better as time has gone on. What I'm trying to say specifically is that I think, especially starting with Battle Styles, they really kind of went out of their way to invest in some really interesting artwork. And as a result of that, they were able to create a lot of hype. Not necessarily because it's another $500 Charizard, or not necessarily in hopes of selling out store shelves, but so that anyone who opens this set, especially later on in the future and even during the product life cycle of this particular set, there's always something in there that you're looking forward to getting. So if we take a look at the Battle Styles set list, which you see on screen, especially towards the back, what you'll notice is that, the regular set is the regular set. There's really nothing outstanding there. However, we start off with, obviously, the Empoleon, and the Empoleon is super cool, super dope. It's definitely one of those cards that everybody loves to see. Then, you don't really have to go far to find the next alternate art, which is the Single Strike Urshifu. And shortly after that is the Rapid Strike Urshifu. Of course, in addition to that, you have Empoleon's opposite, which is the Tyranitar. And don't forget that in addition to all of that, you finally do actually end up having two VMAX Ultra Rares that also happen to be alternate art cards as well. So, what does this really mean in the grand scheme of things? We have 6 really good-looking cards. 2 Vs, 2 VMAXs, and 2 other Vs for the non-box art Pokemon, meaning Tyranitar and Empoleon. So, with that, we kind of have a pretty good idea of, where the set stands, how it looks, and again, you see that there are 183 cards in the set. Now, if we took a look at just the secret rares, right? So starting at number 164, Flapple, what you'd find is that there are actually a grand total of 19 secret rares in this set. And then if we took that 19 secret rares and divided it by the total number of cards in the set, 183, you'd find out that about 10% of all the cards in the set are quote-unquote secret rare based on their official designation. So, what does that really mean at the end of the day? Well, frankly, it's kind of inundated. Modern sets are inundated with secret rares. This has been a complaint of many avid collectors and hobbyists as time has gone on, because what we've noticed, especially in the larger sets like Vivid Voltage or Cosmic Eclipse, is that sometimes your secret rare pages literally go on forever, especially in binder sets. And so it's kind of funny because, as we've gone about collecting and seeking out, we want chase cards, yes, we want cards that we're passionate about, but we also value diversity. And we also love the fact that a Houndoom and a Octillery are going to get some love instead of, another silly card like another Charizard or another typical fan favorite Pokemon. So what's interesting to note is that, by and far, secret rares kind of inundate sets. While they don't certainly pull at 10%, when you look at it from a set list perspective, secret rares make up a pretty significant number of the overall set list nowadays. But the other argument, and my theory, is if we take the 6 alternate art cards in Battle Styles and we, look at it from that perspective over the 183 cards that are available in the set, that's about 3.27% of all the cards that exist in the set. Now that sounds a little bit more like what you would expect for a secret rare population. Bear in mind, back in the day, you would typically have 1 or 2 secret rares in any given set, and sets ranged anywhere from about 100 to about 150 cards. So while the argument could be made that there need to be more secret rares because sets have also increased in size on average, my argument is that sets have not increased that much in size that there need to be that many secret rares. So when you're looking at it, the alternate art cards now are at least a lot more rare, quote unquote, than some of your standard secret rares. Again, you're guaranteed a secret rare in a box, but you're not always guaranteed an alternate art card in a box. And so what I think Pokemon has effectively done has kind of shuffled around the pattern that they are working with. They're going to start pushing more alternate art cards, and that's purely with the intention of giving people another layer of chase. Effectively, your rainbow rare and your gold cards are pretty standard run-of-the-mill cards, and realistically, your alternate art cards will be the cards that people are actively going out of their way to chase in future sets. This is done for a few reasons. One, alternate art cards, I don't know what they do, but the formula is usually spot on. A few weeks after, and Battle Styles has 2 alternate art cards that are above the $100 mark, that being the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX and the Tyranitar. And while the Empoleon has dropped in price and the Single Strike Urshifu never really did quite as well, what I will say is that it is pretty impressive that these 2 cards in a set that's otherwise pretty well printed and pretty perverse throughout the entire hobby, still has the retention ability to really kind of stick with that $100 price point even weeks after its initial release. So with that said, I wanted to then go over some of the stuff for the upcoming sets, and I have a feeling that that's going to help shed some light. So the upcoming set, Chilling Reign, is planned to be released in June of 2021, and it will be an amalgamation of 2 different sets, technically 3 sets. So the first set is going to be Matchless Fighters, and Matchless Fighters was a Japanese set released right around the same time as our English Battle Style set. This is the set that has a couple different cards. One is the Articuno, which is right here. It's a super dope card. Not that Articuno, I'm dumb. This Articuno. So this Articuno is super dope. A lot of people are already in love with the way it looks. Obviously, it has a very water bubbly aesthetic to it. You have the Zapdos, which is the ground running chicken bird, and then you have this Moltres, which I already see people freaking out over. It is such a sick, beautiful card. Then, in addition to that, that's right, this set's not done yet. You have an Ichigeki Galarian Slow King, I believe, and then you also have this Blaziken VMAX as well. So interestingly enough, they got 1 VMAX in there, they got 1 V, and then they have the three legendary birds as well. And so what's pretty impressive is that Matchless Fighter alone had 5 different alternate art cards in it. But bear in mind that our version of this in the English TCG is going to be Chilling Reign, and Chilling Reign is likely going to contain cards from a variety of different sets, including Silver Lance and Black Jet Poltergeist, or Black Jet Spirit, or Jet Black Ghost, or whatever the name of the sets are. But these are the 2 sets that are coming out in Japan sometime shortly, or maybe have already been released. I haven't kept up with the release dates on it. What I do know is that they are planning on being released soon, and as a result of that, many of the shops are now getting cards in Japan, and as a result, they may be opening product in order to have singles on hand for the day of launch, and many of these cards have already leaked online. So, as we, begin a cursory overview of Silver Lance, you'll see a Galarian Rapidash alternate art. You'll see a here is the VMAX Calyrex. Here is another Yeah, so, that's 2 in this set. And then, of course, there's Jet Black Spirit. Jet Black Spirit has the Zeraora alternate art card. It also has another Calyrex card. And this is another amazing, outstanding artwork. And then, in addition to that, wait, there's more. We also have a VMAX alternate art. And then we also have this Blissey alternate art. So, long story short, there are a ton of cards coming up. Now, when you look at it from the Japanese perspective, and assuming that most, if not all of this, will make its way to the English, what you're really looking at right now is about 70 secret rare cards in 3 sets. So that is a lot of cards. Now, of course, if we were just going to do some cursory, super simple math, we would take the 70 secret rares divided by the 3 sets and see that there's about 23 different specific secret rares per set. Bear in mind that the Japanese also count Vs in their secret rares as well. So that could be the explanation as to why we're seeing about 23 in Japanese, but for Battle Styles in English, we saw 19 secret rares. But the other thing of note is that if you're just counting the alternate arts, you have the Galarian Rapidash, you have this Thundurus, so that's 2, you have the Calyrex, which is 3, and then you have the Zeraora, 4, 2 different Calyrexes, 5 and 6, the Blissey, 7, and 7 over the 3 sets is approximately equal to about 2.3 per set. Again, purely based on the sort of math that we went ahead and did with Battle Styles, you can kind of see that the alternate art cards have, in a weird way, taken the slot from a set list perspective of the various secret rares. So, what does this mean for collectors? I think Pokemon is catering towards collectors in many ways. The good news is that these cards don't come with any kind of special gimmick. Other than the artwork, there's no difference. And so from a playability perspective, I understand that several of these cards may end up being very playable in the future. So whether you're using the regular version or the alternate art, you're basically in the same situation nonetheless. But the other thing that I think is kind of interesting here is that there is a pretty unique opportunity then for Pokemon to continue this into the future. Now, don't get me wrong. In previous sets, there have been several different types of alternate art cards. I remember for the Sun and Moon era, they had some really dope tag team cards that were also alternate arts. And so, when you're thinking about it, ADP has a very infamous alternate art. You also have the wonderful Latios and Latias kind of heart card, which I'm also a big fan of. So what does that really kind of mean in the long run? Well, I think what it means is we should be in a pretty good situation to, take advantage of the collectability of these cards in the future. I think that's what's really going to drive your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill collectors to these stores, because public opinion is basically right about this stuff. There's too many secret rares. But I think even though they're not really changing the quote-unquote definition of what a secret rare is, they are helping some cards to stand out more by giving these alternate art versions of cards to us. The intention behind that, in my theory at least, is to help these cards stand out and for these cards to take the place of what we traditionally would have chased in terms of secret rares. The more regular ultra rares, as I'll call them, such as these gold art cards and these rainbow rare cards, although typically still defined as secret rare, are taking a little bit more of a backseat. And, going forward, I have a feeling they're going to continue to leverage these alternate art cards as really kind of being the chase/secret rare cards of the set going forward. But with that said, friends, thanks again for checking out another video. You could have been anywhere on the internet, but you chose to spend some time with me, and that means the world. Let me know what you think down below. This is an interesting topic, and I didn't know if I wanted to make a video on it, but especially from the collector's perspective, I think there's a real conversation to be had here about, why we're seeing such a rise in alternate art cards and why there's such high quality behind them. Again, any company doesn't invest the amount of time and energy it takes to develop these cards and approve these cards unless they had a strategy behind it. And I think it is geared towards collectors. It is geared towards making these sets, especially the secret rares within the sets, have a little bit more, pardon the pun, texture and flavor as we kind of go into the future. And I have a feeling in the long run, Pokemon is also assuming that some of these cards may become chase cards and then eventually become very highly sought after by collectors in the secondary market and in the graded market. Other than that, if you're not already, feel free to join the Gengar Gang. It is free, I promise. All you have to do is hit that big old subscribe button. I hear you can't blink rapidly and click the subscribe button at the same time, but why don't you go ahead and try that out and let me know down below. Other than that, friends, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Feel free to leave a comment with any questions, and thanks again for checking out another video. We'll talk soon. Peace.